Hey, all you comic book fans out there, welcome back to Comic Book Corner, and it is me, Mike Spider Slayer. Guys, we're getting ready to do another Spider Slayer's comic book countdown. That's right. Each week I bring to you my favorite books, starting from the worst, going all the way to the best. That's right. And this week we have 9 comic books, and let's just jump right into it, shall we? 9 books, starting with number 9, bam, Earth 2, issue 10. The Tower of Fate begins. That's right, guys. This book is written by James Robinson and Nikolai Scott. The art, I've always been, a pretty good fan of it. It's a nice book to look at. Colors are tremendous. I've liked this series overall so far for the most part. But however, I find myself a little bit disinterested in this whole Dr. Fate thing just because I don't really know that much of the history of the character. And this book, let's just say that it was like a novel reading this thing. And this seemed to be a trend this week with DC books. I found that it was difficult to, not difficult, but just a lot of reading in general. But this had to do with the Tower of Fate and the Flash and Khalid talking to this person here who I forgot the name off the top of my head about the whole Tower of Fate thing and how he can't get to it. And oh yeah, Wonton is his name, and he can't get in it, so he's sending Flash and Flash and Khalid in there, and it was just like this long, crazy stuff. And I was just like, I found myself a lot like exhausted after reading it. And then there was a side story with Alan Scott, how he was attending Sam's funeral, and they found out that there was people after Sam and not really him. Again, I found it wordy, I found it disinteresting, and in the next issue, I guess we get to see finally Dr. Fate, because that's what it says. So again, wasn't my favorite book of the week. I'm giving it a 2.5 out of 5. I just did not enjoy it really at all. I found it a chore to read, to tell you the truth. Number 8, Iron Man, the God Killer. Issue number 7. This issue, believe it or not, I actually took this off my pull list. And I took it off the pull list because originally there was a lot of comics for me that I was getting this week, and I decided that I wasn't going to get it because the story sucks so bad. Well, things changed on my pull list, and a lot less comics came out. So I actually bought this off the rack to see how the story actually continued. Well, for once in this Iron Man series, we didn't start off with Iron Man flirting with some chick, talking to Pepper Potts, and then going on some mission. It was actually a story that was continued, and let's just say that it wasn't all that bad. I've seen worse, I've read worse, and basically it was about Iron Man getting set up by this machine man look-alike guy that dresses himself up as like a platter, which I thought was kind of dumb. And he gives Tony Stark a glimpse of the future of what he has to do to get out of jail against this alien race that was the Phoenix Force's god or whatever it was, which was called the Voldy. That's right, the Voldy. So basically Iron Man has to go out, or Tony Stark has to go out and battle all these people. But these people are not really killers. They're actually peaceful people. And he has to beat all these opponents to, I guess, get his sentences acquitted. And in the meantime, his little buddy here is going to get his armor, and then he's going to escape. But I think it's all just a setup because he wants to destroy the heart of Voldy, and that's what he's after. And in the end, it was continued as the last major opponent before Iron Man can be set free, or Tony Stark set free. And we saw this in the first part, and Deathhead was hired to take on Tony Stark to win the arena battle. So this issue was actually a decent issue, probably the best issue so far I've read. That's not saying much, but it was a halfway decent issue. So I'm going to give this one a 3 out of 5. I'll just be happy when Gillen and Land just don't do this book anymore, and then maybe it will improve. Number 7, Green Arrow. Well, Green Arrow's been an improvement for me, and the only thing that I seen, this book was a lot to read. This book was a lot to read. Another book from DC this week that just had you reading and reading and reading. And the story was good, but there was just not that much action. The art is okay. It's not the best art for me. I think I could see something different for the artwork here. It's not Hawkeye, but it was a decent story, and you get to see who Komodo is. And let's just say that you find out that Jax is not dead, or Naomi's not dead. You find out that Komodo's daughter is one sick, twisted individual. And, you find some cool things out in this book. I mean, it's a good story, just not a lot of action and lots of dialogue. Again, they're trying to make it, I think, more like the TV show, which is nothing wrong with that because the show is good. But I just found myself, again, exhausted after reading this one. I was like, wow, that's a lot of information to take in. But it was a good story, so I'm going to give this one a 3.5 out of 5 stars. Number 6, Savage Dragon, issue 185. Done by Eric Larson. He's the one who actually has created Savage Dragon, and is probably one of the longest running titles of Image to date, and besides like Spawn and things like that. Savage Dragon is in court, and there's this very lengthy trial that is going on to either have him possibly set free, or actually, have the death sentence go against him about all the things that he's done. Back when he was Emperor Dragon, his other personality, he killed lots of people, but it was his different personality, obviously, that was taken over. And no one is considering, really, except Dragon's closest friends, that he actually, saved the world multiple amount of times. The book, again, another book this week that had lots of dialogue and very little action. But the trial itself was very interesting. The lawyer that was prosecuting Dragon was very good. And there were some things thrown in there that had to do with O.J. Simpson, Kim Kardashian, and Casey Anthony, as one of these being the most extensive trials. The trial went on for months. It's like 4 or 5 months trial. And there's a lot of other side stories in here that had to do with Angel, which is Savage Dragon's daughter, and it had to do with Overlord and things like that. So the book is for me, it's always an entertaining book. It's a cult following book. Not many people, I think, really go off the chain or really go out of their way to find it and be like, oh my god, this is the best book ever. But I enjoyed it, and I enjoy Eric Larson's art and his creativity in a independent book, and give him all his credit for this book going on as long as it has. So I'm going to give this one actually a 4 out of 5. I really enjoyed this book. Next, we are on the top 5. So number 5. Oh, Green Lantern, issue number 18. Wrath of the First Lantern, part 5. We have Sinestro and Hal Jordan in this book, and Baz that makes his appearance in the Dead Zone. This book is very creative. It's very artistically done. It's very creative. Jeff Johns is obviously our writer, and Simon Kordarsky is the actual artist in this book. And the book takes place again in the Dead Zone, and majority of this issue, it's all black and white, and all you see is Hal Jordan, Sinestro, and Baz. And at times it's kind of hard to find out what is going on, and to see who is fighting who and who's battling who. But the book really has to do with Simon, Hal, and Baz, I guess, getting back into reality and reclaiming the ring. And at the end of the issue, you really find out what happens and who gets sent back, and you find out if Hal Jordan is going to be stuck in the Dead Zone or not. So it was a very interesting read. Again, I just found myself very very hard to see what's going on, and I really like details and things like that, but it's hard to put details in the Dead Zone. But nevertheless, it's a good read, and I'm going to give this one a 4 out of 5. This was fun. So next, number 4, Venom, issue number 32. Written by Colin Bunn, and the art in this book is done by Declan Shalvey. I'm sorry if I can't say his name right. This book was actually a really good read. It was one of the better Venom issues in a while. I've been on the cusp about dropping Venom, and I thoroughly enjoyed this particular issue. Yes, it starts off as kind of like, yes, my name is Flash Thompson. Yes, I'm a recovering alcoholic. Yes, I've been this and I've done that. But then they do a good job on even going a little bit further, that he takes drugs to control the symbiote that's within him. And I like that aspect of it. And you learn that Flash is getting a job here in Philadelphia, and he is a PE coach, which is nice to see. He's actually an assistant PE coach, and one of his students is his neighbors. But he comes across this crazy creature that feeds off of flesh, and you don't know who this creature is, and it looks like it'll be introduced in the next issue. And this creature is just weird looking. He's got these things on his back, and they make his body all distorted, and he wants to eat these kids, and he looks like this. He's just a freak monster, but you never find out who he is, and you get a little bit of an origin tale of him. And you see things like this, which is pretty neat, but you don't know the character's name. But in the end, the creature escapes, and we come across, a little spoiler here, and we've been digging towards this past couple issues, him meeting up with Toxin. So Toxin and Eddie Brock have a little partner now, so it looks like they're going to team up against Flash to beat him out, to kick his ass or whatever it is. So it was an interesting issue. I liked it. I'm giving this one a 4 out of 5. It's going to be interesting to see Toxin, where he goes, and how he's going to deal with Venom, and who is this mysterious creature. So I enjoyed this book. I had fun reading it. Next, and I might get some shit for this, but I don't care. Age of Ultron was in my top 3. So number 3. A lot of people saying that this book is average and might not go anywhere. What's the point of it? It's a Marvel Now book. It's another Marvel event. And you know what? I picked it up going into it with an open mind. There's going to be lots of shit to read in this book. So in this particular issue, nothing much really happened. It just scratches the surface. But I find myself interested in seeing what's going to happen in this series. Hawkeye goes in to save Peter Parker. The world is in despair. It's apart. And obviously it's because of this guy right here, which is Age of Ultron. Brian Michael Bendis is the writer, and Brian Hitch is the penciler. The art is good. I think it could be better, but it was interesting to see. The one thing I did have a problem with the book, though, was the paneling layout. It was like a lot of it was through 2 pages, and it's hard to tell if it was going this way or if it was going this way. And but I found myself lost at some points with it. But Hawkeye has to go in and he has to save Peter Parker, and I'm assuming that this is real Peter Parker, not Octavius, just by the way he was acting and talking and his characteristics. And the Avengers are lost. They just don't know what to do because Ultron's just taking over the world. There's Ultrons all over the place. He can affect people with viruses. You can see that he's trying to get any people out by shaking everything all over the place. But it was a cool book. I liked it. Really didn't tell any story. Just Hawkeye going after Peter. They escape. Interesting pages like this where you see the helicarrier just totally destroyed. Surrounding cities just destroyed. Everything's destroyed. Iron Man has to use this breathing device in order to see if our major heroes here are infected with some kind of virus. So I thought it was interesting. It just looks like our heroes are looking for answers and they don't know what to do, and even Captain America is lost. And the book does a great job in just explaining all the characters that are inside our title here. So I like the book, and I'm getting all of them. So I don't care how much money I spend. Hopefully it just continues to be good and the story progresses. Nothing much happened here, but I enjoyed it. So I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5. I like the 90s cover too. So, number 2. Oh, it was close for me. All New X-Men. This was close from being the number 1 spot. X-Men was a great read. It started off okay, and then it got better. It was nice to see finally Angel have something to do in this book. You have not seen him. We're in issue 8, and you hardly have seen him at all. But in this book, he finally breaks down and basically just says, I've had enough. I don't want to deal with this anymore, and I want to go back to the past. Well, let's just say that Jean Grey has something to do about it, and it's like an oh shit factor. It was awesome. Also, another great thing about this book was Kitty's and Bobby's relationship, on how they were mocking Captain America and Hank McCoy about how the past X-Men are here, and how they're trying to get along with everybody else. And it was so great to see that. You have to really read the actual part because it goes on for like 2 pages, and the expressions on their faces was just classic. And you can see it here. I'll show you a page here. They're just mocking the two as they're having this conversation next to the the Quinjet or whatever it's called, or the Avengers plane or whatever. And it's just a really great issue. It started off a little slow, but then it got better, and it made sense as time goes along. The major story of it had to do in the beginning with the 2 angels going against Hydra. But that's not what really grabs you on this issue. It's basically the last couple of pages that grabs you. I'm going to give this book a 5 out of 5. I enjoyed it, and it wasn't my pick of the week, and I'll tell you why in a second. So number 1 of the week is Superior Spider-Man, issue number 5. People might hate me for this, because there's people that are really hating Superior Spider-Man right now, saying it's not Peter Parker, it's this, it's the blue guy following him around. How long can we go on for Peter just, talking about, or Octavius talking about, I'm Superior Spider-Man and I'm better than anybody else and blah, blah, blah. This issue right here is the really first issue that you get something a little bit different than that. And it was like a movie for me almost. Just everything about it. This issue has to deal with Massacre. And I'm going to do a review after this, so I'm not going to give away everything on this countdown. I'm going to do a review on this channel for this particular issue. But this has to do with the burger shop getting shot up, and Massacre gets paid off to do some bad advertising with Coca-Cola. And as you can see, the Coca-Cola symbol is the old Marvel symbol from the 90s, which is pretty cool. And let's just say that Spider-Man does something in this particular issue that I would have never expected it to see. But again, it's not Peter Parker. It's Dr. Otto Octavius. Yes, he took an oath to protect society, but it's going to be in his rules, in his terms. Peter Parker could be yapping in your ear, "Hey, Spider-Man, don't do this. Otto, what are you doing, Otto? Why are you carrying that gun, dude? What's going on? Don't do that. You took an oath." He may hear the little voices now and then, but it doesn't mean he's going to follow them. He's gonna make these Octobots. He's going to do whatever he can to make his job easier, and he's going to kill whoever he's going to kill if he has to do it. And it was like a jaw dropper at the end. Just seeing a Spider-Man carrying a gun was just shocking, and the ending was shocking as well. So I'm going to give it a 5 out of 5. I love this book, and let's just say that Massacre, well, it was nice knowing you, dude. The artwork was pretty solid. This artist here, Giuseppe Camuncoli, I'm not a huge fan. He's not my favorite Spider-Man artist, but it's not bad. And like I said, I liked it. It was a 5 out of 5 for me. Dan Slott's just turning a character completely upside down. Yes, it may not be Peter. Yes, Peter Parker's reputation may be ruined. It might be a little bit predictable, but it's a different aspect of a title that we've never seen before. So I've kept a very open mind to this title, but I really liked this issue. So guys, that's my #1 title of the week. So just a quick recap: number 9, Earth 2; number 8, Iron Man; number 7, Green Arrow; Savage Dragon, issue 185; number 6. Number 5 was Green Lantern. Number 4 was Venom. Number 3 was Age of Ultron. Number 2 was All New X-Men. And number 1 was Superior Spider-Man. And again, look for a review on this book as soon as this video is done. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this week's countdown. And as always, this is Mike Spider-Slayer signing off. Until next comic book review, guys, thanks for watching. Take care. See you soon. Bye.